What's happening, YouTube, man? We back, man. DeFi TV. You already know what we doing here, man. All about the game. Episode 5, I believe we are on right now, man. So we got a little something interesting, man. I'm gonna change it up the way I do the channel, man. But we gonna do reactions. We gonna do my favorite, sports analytics show is First Take with Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman, man. And Undisputed with Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna watch some of the topics that they talk about, and I'm gonna give a reaction to what they're saying, what their important facts are about a specific topic. So today, we bring in, everyone's still talking about the big J.J. Watt signing to the Cardinals and why J.J. Watt decided to go to the Cardinals over the Cleveland Browns and potentially the Pittsburgh Steelers and just a lot of other championship contending teams. You feel me? So we're gonna listen to what they say. We're gonna go throughout the video. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let y'all know what I think. Remember, it's a discussion, man. It's a discussion. So let me know what y'all think in the comments about J.J. Watt signing with the Cardinals. Let me know if it was a good decision, a bad decision, what you think his justification was for signing with the Arizona Cardinals, man. Let me know. All right. So let me make sure we still recording real quick. Let me just make sure. All right, we still recording. All right, let's get into it, baby. Let's go. Here we go.
Sign this $23 million guaranteed. The guarantee is $23 million. I said, excuse me. That dude is being paid like he's closer to elite than average. Let me look at this. And as it turns out, J.J. Watt, in terms of his win percentage for his matchup, is elite. He's top 10. He wins his matchup more than almost anyone else in football at his position when he's on the field. Now, injuries have been a concern, but when he's on the field, he is not just closer to elite, you might say he's still elite. Just because he's not what he was at his prime doesn't mean he's not elite. In his prime, he was in the top uppermost tier of greatest front seven players who ever lived. Lawrence Taylor, Reggie White, Bruce Smith, Aaron Donald. J.J. Watt is right.
Now, see, Max makes a very compelling point. He makes a very compelling argument right there. I think J.J. Watt definitely, outside of the injuries, was probably, like, we all know Aaron Donald to be the best player, like, in football right now, the best defensive player, if not the best all-around player in the NFL right now. But J.J. Watt was something like he, for his, like, first 5 seasons, when he was taking pick sixes and fumbles back, and he was doing a little dance, he was doing the nay-nay on occasion, he was hitting the salute every time he got sacked. He was the best defensive player that we had, like, seen in a while. You know what I'm saying? Especially coming from an edge rusher. So Max makes a really compelling, like, point right there. But let's see what else they got to say. Let's see what else they got to say. Let's see.
There with those guys in his prime. So just because he's fallen off, don't mean he's fallen off closer to average. He's still, as it turns out, closer to elite than average, and that's why he got paid.
Me personally, I have no problem with him getting paid. He's a future Hall of Famer. When you think about guys with the most sacks since 2012, Chandler Jones is number 1, J.J. Watt is number 2. This brother is a future Hall of Famer, make no mistake about it. We know how formidable he is. We also know what a leader he is, and we also know what a leader in the community he is. I'm a huge fan of J.J. Watt, and I believe he will be elite. But basically, right now, at this point in time, he appears to be closer to average than elite. I don't think that will last. I think that he was contaminated by being a member of the Texans organization, a part of all of that nonsense that was going on within that organization, which is universally recognized right now as one of the worst organizations in all of football. Which is why Deshaun Watson wants out, which is why J.J. Watt went and apologized to Deshaun Watson, because he recognizes the cesspool that he was a part of. He wanted out, and he knows that Deshaun Watson deserves out. But that doesn't take away from the fact that he's had 9 sacks over the last 2 years. That he hasn't been the dude that we've known him to be, that registered about 18 sacks in 2018. I'm not saying that'll last. I believe in J.J. Watt, and I believe that he will make a difference in Arizona. Here's where I think he also kind of blew it, though. J.J. Watt clearly wants to be in a position to compete for a Super Bowl championship. I'm not saying that can't happen with Arizona. But if you're predicting that Arizona's going to do it ahead of the other options that he had available to him, whether it was Pittsburgh, whether it was Green Bay, or another team, I would dare challenge anybody on that. In the NFC West, where you've got Seattle, you've got the Los Angeles Rams with their elite defense and Matthew Stafford there instead of Jared Goff, you got Jimmy Garoppolo.
And see, that's exactly the point that I was making in the last video, the first video that I made with talking about J.J. Watt going to the Cardinals, man, is like, what does he bring to Arizona that is going to put them over the mountaintop, in their division? Stephen A. Smith is hitting the nail, right on the coffin, as he usually does. But when we're talking about a defensive player going to another team and potentially competing for a championship, we know that the quarterback is the most important position. This isn't a quarterback going from one team to another and thinking that the quarterback is going to put this team over the top. You know what I'm saying? What is he going to offer to help them beat Seattle, to help them beat the Rams, to help them beat the 49ers if the 49ers get back healthy? You know what I'm saying? He had a lot of other contending teams, like I named before. He had the Browns. The Browns they shocked the world this past season. You know what I'm saying? Getting to the playoffs, knocking off the Steelers. They gave Kansas City a good run for their money. A good young team that could potentially, get to the Super Bowl. It's weird because it's kind of like, with a player as known and definitely J.J. Watt is definitely a future Hall of Famer. But ringless, you would think that those guys would go to a team unless he sees something in Arizona that we don't see. Now, they do have Kyler Murray, so it's not like he went to a team that did not have a quarterback at all, and they're struggling, they're working from the ground up. So they do have potential, but it's like, how much potential can you see to get this team, that this team can get to a Super Bowl? We're talking about the NFC. Green Bay is still alive. You know what I'm saying? The Buccaneers, the defending Super Bowl champions, are still going to be there. As a Panthers fan, as much as I hate to say it, Tampa Bay isn't going nowhere. Tampa Bay is going to be right there in the NFC Championship game. They're going to be right there in the playoffs, potentially the Super Bowl. So what in this team did J.J. Watt find so, I guess what I'm looking for is like compelling to make him want to go there. Now I know his boy D Hop is there, playing in Houston. So it's playing in Arizona now from Houston. So it's I don't know. I just want to see what other points they're gonna make to, because we'll never know unless J.J. Watt tells us why he made that decision. We'll never know. But we just, let's just see. Let's see.
Garoppolo coming back with Deebo Samuels, with George Kittle and others, and saying Kyle Shanahan coaching that team. Bigger things are expected of the San Francisco 49ers. So you got 3 teams within the division that are considered better than you. Now, does that mean you won't improve and you won't leapfrog over one of them? Sure. What's the likelihood of you leapfrogging over all 3 of them? I sincerely doubt it. So in that regard, I would say J.J. Watt might have gone to the wrong team, because at this stage and point in his career, he clearly wants to compete for a Super Bowl championship. And although there's parity in the National Football League, you can stick up the joint one year and go to the Super Bowl the next year. And we understand that with Arizona, it's definitely possible. I've got some questions about Kingsbury. I don't have those questions about Kyler Murray. I think Kyler Murray can ball. But I got questions about Kingsbury. He still has a lot to prove to me as a head coach. But when I look at J.J. Watt, I'm fantasizing about him with Chandler Jones, who's got something to prove himself, and all of that stuff. He only played 1 game last year. We'll see what transpires. It's just that at this particular moment in time, even though we believe in J.J. Watt, I don't think we can look at him and think about anything other than closer to average than elite at this particular moment, even if we believe that will not last because he's with a different organization he's actually interested in playing for that deserves his services.
Well, first of all, closer to average than elite. I just disagree based on the evidence. I said top 10, Stephen. I meant top 10%. He was 15th in 2020 ranked. This is from on ESPN.com, by the way. 15th out of 119 qualified pass rushers in pass rush win rate, according to ESPN stats and information. So 119 guys qualify, and he's top 10%. There are only 14 guys with a better win rate against their pass block. Like, that's elite production. Now, you could say, well, injuries have kept him off the field enough that you can't consider him really elite because, you know, the best ability is availability. But I also wonder if he can get over the injuries, maybe that's actually affecting him when he's actually playing, right? Because it's not just like acute injury, you come back, now you're 100%. Sometimes you're less than 100%, and yet he's 15th out of 119 that qualify in win rate. He wins his matchup more than almost anyone else. And in terms of Arizona, it's interesting. He and DeAndre Hopkins are back on the same team. And it's almost like J.J. Watt saying, okay, Texans, remember, think of all the icons for that franchise. Andre Johnson, J.J. Watt, and now Deshaun Watson, who have spoken out essentially against the franchise. J.J. Watt goes and joins DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, of course, he got paid. That's number one. But goes and joins DeAndre Hopkins with Kyler Murray. Maybe a show the Texans what might have been. But you said it, Chandler Jones and J.J. Watt, oh my God. Off either end, that's a whole lot of. And I'm not sure that Arizona won't be the best team in the division. I think it's going to be a very tightly contested division. It's a really good one. But Kyler Murray is still.
I did not think about that. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Really, when you think about it, what if J.J. Watt is trying to show the Texans organization what could have been? I mean, they had D-Hop. They had, J.J. Watt himself. They had Deshaun Watson. We look at Deshaun Watson and Kyler Murray. I mean, the playmaking ability that they both have, being able to run, being able to throw, young quarterbacks. The comparison is there. And then when you think about it, even when, he's pairing up with Chandler Jones now, we got to remember when J.J. Watt had Jadeveon Clowney and Whitney Merciless as his opposite pass rusher. So I didn't even think that's actually a great comparison that Max just made. I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about that.
Still ascending. Matt Stafford, not ascending anymore in LA. And the addition of a pass rusher like J.J. Watt could be a tipping point on the defense. And DeAndre Hopkins is there. I don't know. I think Arizona is as competitive as anyone in the NFC West.
They could be, but we don't know that for sure. Because we know that they have a coach that on a collegiate level, he never really won anything. And there was legitimate questions as to whether or not he deserved a head coaching job in Arizona. He's gotten a head coaching job, and they've had some good moments in Arizona. I'll give him credit for that. But in the same breath, we've looked at Kyler Murray, we looked at some of the things that have transpired, and we said, you know what, we questioned whether or not he needed better coaching on the NFL level from time to time, watching him go out on that football field and play against the odds that were stacked against him because of his coach.
All right, everybody. So that was Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman's take on the J.J. Watt signing to the Arizona Cardinals on All About the Game. Man, let me know what you guys think about the signing. I think that the decision, 2 years, $31 million, I believe. I think this was a bit of a financial security move for J.J. Watt. I think he was securing his pennies with the potential to win the Super Bowl potentially later on. One part I do disagree with is I don't think he's just an average player of a late. I think J.J. Watt, even though with all the injury history, I think J.J. Watt can still give us one or two elite seasons, and with those elite seasons could potentially lead to Super Bowl runs. You know what I'm saying? So Thank you guys for tuning in, man. Appreciate you guys, man. It's all about the game. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Let me know if you guys think, like the new video format that I'm trying to do here, man. Be sure to tune in to the next one, guys. Stay healthy, stay safe. Peace.